Down on the Farm Radio, and most each and every one of them do, along with our 14 affiliate stations. I'm Larry Marble. Thanks so much for listening. Let's take a look at ag weather. We will utilize the San Antonio region as our benchmark. Sunny today, 79 and 51. Sunny on Wednesday the 4th, 80 and 57. Sunny with a few clouds on Thursday the 5th, 82 and 58, a 20% chance of moisture. Friday the 6th, sunny, 81 and 54. Same song, second verse on Saturday the 7th, 84 and 64 with a 20% chance of rain on Sunday the 8th, a 30% chance of rain on Monday the 9th, no more than 1 or 2 tenths. Tuesday the 10th, 20% chance of moisture, a little cooler, 78 and 52, must have been a frontal passage. Wednesday the 11th, 72 and 56, mostly sunny. And mostly sunny on Thursday, the 12th, 74 and 59, back to a 10% chance of moisture. Neighbor, there's at least a week's worth of ag weather for the central region of Down on the Farm country. Neighbor, instead of going first to commodity prices, let's take a look at what the good folks from DTN are saying about the direction of today's commodities and why. As they begin their trade and a nation heads to the polls on Election Day, outside equities and energies are reflecting a bit more optimism, and that appears to be spilling over into the grains and the soybeans. After sliding 29 cents from the recent highs, corn futures are starting better, fueled by continued strong export demand and strength in the energies. Monday's new 204,000 metric ton sale to an unknown destination was a positive development. Total corn sales of 1.26 billion bushels equal to about 57% of this year's USDA export projection. As we look toward beans, looks like the oils, palm oil in particular, gapped higher. The crude oil has now rallied $1.28. That has fueled the soybean complex after plunging 43 cents from a recent high. Soybeans have been on a downward correction, while flash sales to China have been absent for the last few weeks. U.S. export sales were again large last week. Total commitments looks to me like about 1.74 billion bushels. That stands at a bullish 79% of USDA's yearly export projection. In wheat, after plunging more than 48 cents per bushel from the recent high, Kansas City wheat is leading the way higher as the weather in the Black Sea has turned drier again. The U.S. plains received some much-needed relief of late, and I know that the farmers up in that Abilene area that we utilize the Country Giant for our broadcast, KLGD 106.9. Those boys are back in the field after a little bit of moisture, getting the balance of their wheat into the ground. Neighbor, let's take a look at cotton and see what's going on there. After being pounded for 5 consecutive sessions, December cotton higher. Last Wednesday, the market was on the threshold of posting new highs for its 7-month rally, but too many long-loaded speculators tipped the boat over and price imploded. However, as a result of the sharp decline, the market has become oversold short-term. The condition, along with the strength seen in the Dow, cotton is bouncing somewhat higher. Another positive driver for the market is USDA's crop assessment. Yesterday afternoon, the data indicated the condition of the crop had slipped to 37% good to excellent from the 40 last week. Declining conditions were seen here in Texas, 25%, that's down 2. Georgia, 52%, down 5. USDA showed 2020 crop is 52% harvested compared to 51% last year, a 5-year average of 49. Of the top 6 producing states, only 1 is ahead in the average. As we look for Tuesday support, according to Keith Brown from Commodity Consultants and DTN, December stands at 68 cents, then at 67.50, resistance at 70.30, then at 70.80. Overnight, estimated volume about 8,450 contracts. Neighbor, we'll check the possible direction of the livestock futures and live cattle after this.
Rumensin presents Trusted by Generations. Headquartered in Amarillo, Texas, Cactus Feeders has been producing high-quality protein at their feed yards in Texas and Kansas for over 40 years. They work hard each day to make sure the beef they produce is safe and nutritious. Director of Nutrition Kendall Carr and General Manager of Wrangler Feed Yard Randy Shields have been working together at Cactus Feeders for 20 years. We asked them what they view as the most vital ingredient in their success. For Kendall, trust comes before anything else, and that includes doing business with a handshake. Beyond trust in their partners, Kendall knows it's important for consumers to trust the beef they consume. Randy believes it all comes back to the handshake deal, that when you make a commitment, you follow through with that commitment. Both Kendall and Randy are proud to carry on the legacy of helping people learn and grow in the beef cattle business. Rumensin has been trusted by generations of cattle producers to help build their legacy. What will your legacy be? Explore more legacy stories at trustedbygenerations.com.
Neighbor, now let's turn our head and steer our gaze toward livestock. In live cattle, mixed, early trade extremely sluggish. In the live cattle trade this morning, market stability was seen at the opening bell. As we look toward feeders, we'll call it mixed too. Feeder cattle futures are stuck in a narrow mixed trading range, 10 lower to as much as 5 higher in light activity. As we look toward hogs, steady to 50 higher. Lean hog futures trade posting the most aggressive market moves of all the livestock trade early today. But even though hog markets are leading the shift higher in the livestock markets, gains are contained to 40 cents per hundredweight in the nearbys and appear to be losing momentum each passing minute. Neighbor, let's see if old Hop Sing's ready to feed us. Well, that answered that question, didn't it? When that bell rings, it's time for you to sit down at the kitchen table. It's chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad, and a glass of iced tea today. And a visit with Benny Cox from Producers in Cargyle, San Angelo. Benny, how many sheep and goats you got on the yard this morning?
5,000.
5,000. What do you think you're going to draw later on?
You know, usually if you've got that many, you sure could catch another 1,000. Could be more.
Right.
We weren't hit very hard by the smaller trailers yesterday. Some of these bunches are some bigger than we've been seeing. Like a pretty high percentage of goats in that mix. That just happens at times. You know, we end up when it's all said and done at the end of the year, we sell we'll be up in the 40+% on goats and 60 or so percent sheep. It used to be 50-50, or it got to that point at one time. It looks like there's probably more goats than there was sheep. That's yet to be seen. We got along real good last week. The only spot where there was any weakness was in those goats, but the quality was just not there. That had to be part of the reason behind that. And another thing, these goats don't fare quite as well as maybe the hair sheep do when you get into those wet, cold periods. Like, you know, it was pretty testy here last week. We had stayed around 32, and there was a lot of, we had slush and all that stuff. So that might have played a role in that too. So, right. And then these other sales are pretty small, so we may see it perk up a little on some of these goats, or the better end of these this week. Who knows?
Right. That's funny about that number, and I guess it says something about human nature. You said the percentage of goats is going down. Then you mentioned the fact that these other animals are hardier, and you get kind of one of those moments. That's what humans do. We migrate toward the things that's easiest for us to do, and the hair sheep's been the easier thing to do, hadn't it?
Yeah, these hair sheep are pretty easy to raise. You keep the varmints out of them; they'll sure raise lots of them, and they've proven to be some easier. Most of them will get to 60, 65 pounds quicker than these goats will. And I'll tell you, and we talked about this here back in the last 3 or 4 weeks ago, the gap or the margin between the hair sheep and the goats, where it used to be, on those 60 pounders, you can talk about $80 difference with goats on the high side. That's not there today. It's closer to 30 cents. They still bring a little more of those top end boar crosses than these hair sheep, but that gap's narrowing.
Yeah, and even on the killer side, and I guess it's because of the ethnic market, you said that they're hopping in there and buying those ewe carcasses just like they were buying the nanny carcasses. Is that kind of the same kind of situation?
Yeah, they tell me that they're killing lots of those hair sheep ewes right alongside those nanny goats, doing the same with them. I know some of them take and cube those things up and store them till the market gets better. I'm not sure that that they've been waiting. I've had a number of calls where people just can't get enough of those nannies to satisfy the demand, and it's quite apparent that must be the case because these old kind of strong, thin to medium flesh hair ewes, lots of those will bring up their $1 plus. And here back a year and a half ago, you had to get 60 before you get 70 cents for one of those things.
Sure.
And so that tells me that fits that story fits quite well if, and that being the case.
Cattle sale comes every Thursday. What's it going to come like this week?
Yeah, it was real light last week, just like our sheep sale. We sold a little over 500. I think that, in Oklahoma City was a lot better last week. Yeah. We may perk up and see more calves. It's really not that time of the year for these bigger bunches around here. Most of them have gone. Deer season's going to start this weekend. Most people try and get a lot of their work done before that so they don't interrupt their deer hunting.
Right.
Not everybody worries about it, but a lot of people do. And then we've got a cow sale coming up Thursday week. That may play a role in it too. So I suspect I don't think we'll be anywhere near 1,500. I think we got to get to 1,000 first. Yeah, on that cow sale, I've mentioned it. We've got 189 Angus cows coming. They're mostly 4 and 5 year olds. One set of 7-year-olds in there. There's no 6s. They're bred Gardner and R.A. Brown Angus bulls for 90 days. Start calving December the 5th, so it'll be a nice set. I don't have any other specifics right now, but we'll let you know about that as it comes near.
All right. Benny Cox, producers in Cargyle, sheep on Tuesday, cattle on Thursday. Tell everybody how to contact you.
They can call me at my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. The office, same area code, 653-3371. They can always look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of Texas News and Views. I believe the Tom Nicoletti is at the mic. Tom, what's your topic?
The impact of the La Nina weather pattern on the Lone Star State. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Texas News and Views from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. More in a minute.
Conventional wisdom says that you get what you pay for, and conventional wisdom is right. You won't find Crystalix in the bargain aisle, but it will always get optimal performance out of your cattle. Whether you feed it in a steel or plastic barrel or our sustainable single-trip bio barrel, Crystalix is more than just a supplement. It's an investment. With Crystalix, performance is served. Visit Crystalix.com to find a dealer near you.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
I'm made of grit, passion, and hands that never stop working.
I'm made of agronomics, innovation, and hands that never stop helping.
I believe cotton isn't a crop. It's a calling. I'm made to grow it.
Protect it.
I know this is important to my family.
Every family.
That's why I work harder.
Innovate better.
To make my cotton as good as it can be.
As protected as it can be.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
We create chemistry.
My guest today from Fort Worth is National Weather Service meteorologist Tom Bradshaw. And Tom, you're joining us again this month to take a look at the weather across the state of Texas. The month of October was a relatively dry month here.
Yeah, good to be with you again, Tom, and definitely goes without saying that we had a very dry month across virtually all of Texas. The vast majority of the state saw precipitation readings well below normal for the month of October. October is normally one of the wettest months in the state of Texas, and this was one of the driest months that we've actually had in many, many years for many, many areas of Texas. There was a little bit of relief for parts of North Texas, West Texas at the very end of the month, but for the most part it was very dry and actually much warmer than normal for many locations.
So going into the month of November, temperature-wise and precipitation-wise, it is still looking as though the La Nina effect, drier than normal, warmer than normal, is going to have an impact on the Southwest and in particular Texas.
Yeah, definitely. The La Nina pattern that we have in place across the western U.S. is really the big story right now. The month of November is normally a month of transition, as we all know, here in the state of Texas. You really start seeing these strong cold fronts diving southward from out of the northern plains across the state of Texas. You start seeing much, much colder temperatures. We get widespread freezes across a good part of the state, and we obviously get transient storm systems coming across and bringing not only rainfall, but we start seeing seeing some winter precipitation in the northern counties. It's still possible we'll see patterns like that again this year. However, with La Nina really kicking in, I think more than anything else, we're going to have a relatively dry month of November across virtually all the state of Texas, and it will continue to be warmer than normal. Not to say we won't have brief periods of colder temperatures here and there, but for the most part, average temperatures are going to be above normal relative to long-term normals across the state, and that's just going to continue to exacerbate our drought conditions and our fire weather concerns for a good part of the Lone Star State.
The drought monitor for Texas is showing a lot of exceptional drought and extreme drought in far west Texas and up towards the Panhandle. At least 20 counties are in the exceptional drought category, so they certainly need the precipitation out there.
Yeah, we are in really, really rough shape out in the Panhandle and parts of the Southern Plains out into the Trans-Pecos towards El Paso. Unfortunately, we don't see a whole lot of relief on the horizon for those counties. They'll probably continue to be in serious drought through the month of November and probably through the rest of the year, as long as this La Nina pattern continues to hold in place across the western U.S., which it's going to be really, really rough sledding as far as precipitation for Texas. Well, it certainly looks like the La Nina pattern is going to hold tough, at least through the end of the year and most likely through the entire winter. There are some signs that we'll start to see some return back to neutral conditions by the spring or the summer of next year.
That is Tom Bradshaw. He is meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Fort Worth.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to insure your home for Texas-size weather. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
This is Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, I hear cattle in the alleyway. We must be about ready to talk to Kim Hagan because they've got a sale in Hallettsville today. In fact, Kim, why don't you start off by telling us how that sale went last week?
Well, the market was showing up better than it was the week before. Kind of the good number one kids on the heavyweights were probably 2 to 5 better than they were the week before, and maybe some of the little lighter cattle probably about steady or just $1 or $2 better than they were the week before. But overall, the market was very good. Had a lot of activity. Ended up with 13.23. Kind of had a little bit of a lighter run. It was a little bit cooler and the stuff around last week. But packer cows and bulls, we had about 150 head on hand. They were $4 or $5 higher than they were the week before. So overall, the market was on an uptrend, put it that way. Our number one steer kids under 200 pounds, 155 to 205. Heifers, 135 to 180. 2 to 3 weight steers, 145 to 170. Heifers, 115 to 145. 3 to 4 weight steers, 140 to 170. Heifers, 110 to 140. 4 to 5 weight steers, 122 to 168. Heifers, 108 to 135. 5 to 6 weight steers, 115 to 143. Heifers, 102 to 126. 6 to 7 weight steers, $1 to $1.33. Heifers, 97 to $1.18. 7 to 8 weight steers, 98 to 128. And the heifers, 90 to $1.08. That's kind of how it went. And like I said, the market was sure all right.
Good. What's under the barn for this week?
Well, we're going to probably have a few more. I'm thinking we'll probably have 1,600 to 1,800 tomorrow. We got about 185 or so packer cows for tomorrow. Got a few little young palpated cows for tomorrow, but we'll have a nice run. Got a lot of good kids on hand.
Tell everybody how to contact you, Kim Hagan.
Hey, just try me on my mobile, 361-293-4720. Or try Mike on his, 361-293-4949. We'll be help with anything. You just got to give us a call.
Your rights are under attack, and the 17,000 plus members of the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association are here to help you fight back. We invite you to join us in our efforts to safeguard the ranching way of life. The benefits of the TSCRA are many, ranging from our political watchdog efforts to continuing education to discounts on items you use every day and more. For more information, call 800-242-7820 or go to www.tscra.org. Neighbor, I understand that the cattle are out of water here in this trap near the house, so I'm going to go out and take a look at the windmill and fix it if I can while y'all talk to Ken Jordan Cattle Auction. Ken, how'd the sale go in Mason?
You bet, Larry. We ended up having right at 957 head today. I thought overall the market opened up this week with a really strong tone. I was very impressed with it. I kind of saw that maybe at the end of last week things stabilized a little bit. I thought today our stocker steers, they sold $10 higher with 6 steers weighing 428 at $1.67, right at $715 on those. I thought our stocker heifers, they probably sold $10 to $15 higher. Getting our feeder steers overall, they probably sold pretty well steady, maybe to $3 or $4 higher. And our feeder heifers, they probably sold $1 to $4 higher. Packer cows and bulls also sold $3 higher. Pairs and bred cows so steady as compared to last week, Larry. So overall, we did see a lot of improvement on this market. I think a lot of it's due to the rain up in Oklahoma, different places. Also, we had cooler weather. These cattle are going to harden up a little bit more, and some of our health problems will go away.
Do you know of anything for Thursday?
You bet. We're going to have a big run. Looks like it. A lot of good stocker calves and yearlings going to be there. I know over about 12 or 1,300 of those that'll be there already right now. We got a lot of wean cattle will be involved. Also, we do have the Hell Ranch and Lipan Ranch bull sale. We're going to start that at 10 o'clock. They got 30-something head of really choice Angus bulls off of Hell's Ranch, 35 off the Lipan Ranch, Charolais bulls that are outstanding. And then we got about 6 or 8 Brangus bulls, 6 or 8 Hereford bulls will be there. All those videos are up on our website and everything else, Larry, for somebody to go look at. Great opportunity to buy some outstanding bulls. Then if you need some sell or buy some stocker feeders, we'll have a lot of those available also on Thursday.
Ken, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
You bet. Give us a call, area code 325-372-5159. Also, our website is jordancattle.com, Larry.
Rumensin presents Trusted by Generations. Headquartered in Amarillo, Texas, Cactus Feeders has been producing high-quality protein at their feed yards in Texas and Kansas for over 40 years. They work hard each day to make sure the beef they produce is safe and nutritious. Director of Nutrition Kendall Carr and General Manager of Wrangler Feed Yard Randy Shields have been working together at Cactus Feeders for 20 years. We asked them what they view as the most vital ingredient in their success. For Kendall, trust comes before anything else, and that includes doing business with a handshake. Beyond trust in their partners, Kendall knows it's important for consumers to trust the beef they consume. Randy believes it all comes back to the handshake deal, that when you make a commitment, you follow through with that commitment. Both Kendall and Randy are proud to carry on the legacy of helping people learn and grow in the beef cattle business. Rumensin has been trusted by generations of cattle producers to help build their legacy. What will your legacy be? Explore more legacy stories at trustedbygenerations.com.
Neighbor, let's take a look at cash grains, courtesy of John Tuggle, Tuggle & Company, Corpus. Call him at 800-288-4453, 361-852-5207, or email him, john@tuggle.com. Number 2 or better, Milo, through Corpus in November. D's plus 220 at 1103, Progresso 1050. Yellow corn through Corpus in November. D's plus 40, 437.5. We'll call Houston D's plus 30, 427.5. And we'll call the Mexican Port of Progresso 835 by the hundredweight. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in November. D's plus 75, 628. Calling Houston D's plus a dollar bill, 653. And number 1 beans to Houston, November-December delivery. November less 15, 1035 and 3/4. We'll call Placido, November less 60, 990 and 3/4. With sharply higher or lower markets over the past week, local cash grains are quiet. For more information, contact John Tuggle, 1-800-2-TUGGLE, 1-800-288-4453, or email him your questions at john@tuggle.com. Neighbor, let's take a look at cotton. 1,140 bale of East Texas, 1,077 bale of West Texas. That brings the state total for yesterday to 2,217. Neighbor, average price looks like about 64.62. That's it for grains and cotton. That's it for this edition of Down on the Farm, and that's it for me, Larry Marble. Neighbor, not it for you. Going out and work hard today on the farm and ranch. We'll feed you again tomorrow morning about daylight.